What's going on, guys? I hope you're doing well this night. It is 10:23 p.m. where I'm at. Yeah, okay, just wanted to cover some significant updates regarding um, just various charts that are paramount for the success of the crypto market. All right, so I'm going to get started with the S&P 500. We had a bullish engulfing candle today, close here, which is phenomenal. Now, it didn't take out the recent local high right here. So if we were to have a candle close above 4,179.75, we're most likely going to hit this mark, which I do think ultimately that's kind of where we're heading. Not really sure, I'll be completely honest, what's going to happen once we hit here. Now, we could do something like this where, we just kind of come up, kind of stagnate for a little bit and then break through. Or we could see something a little bit more dramatic where, yeah, we come back down all the way here, maybe back test this again, maybe break through it and actually, find some support along this line here. Not necessarily sure how it's exactly going to play out because this is a pretty key level. This is actually a more significant level than, 4,087 because, like I had mentioned in the previous videos, we are currently kind of witnessing here, kind of like realistically where the bull market ended, which was this red line here at 4,300 for the S&P 500. I've stated before we had kind of like this M-shaped pattern, which is anytime you see an M on a chart, that's not good. It usually leads to more downside, and we realistically went all the way down until we tapped the bottom support line right here, which then kind of triggered a back test of this line once again as resistance to confirm it. Now, we've back tested it once. Now, I realistically think that the bear market is over. I know there's a lot of people who don't really think that, but I do think the bear market in the S&P 500 perspective is over. We've seen the bottom. At the very least, I do think 3,520 is a staunch support line right here. As you can see here, I thought we were going to go lower. I thought we were going to go to 3,380 specifically because that was the top. That was the beginning of COVID right here, the COVID dump. And then since then, it's just been up only for the S&P 500. But no, we didn't even back test that. We actually came back and, we hit this double top area right here. And since then, we've just hit the ground running and we've just continued running. So that's realistically something that I wanted to take in consideration. Now, to be honest, I'm not too sure what's going to happen from here. Like I've said before, realistically, I mean, we could do something like this and maybe dump down, maybe have a double bottom right here, or maybe even break below it and eventually come down. I frankly do not know what's going to happen, but I do know that we are going to run up and we are going to see a retest of 4,306 at some point in time in the very near future. Oh, excuse me. I was drinking coffee and it went down the wrong way. Woo. Okay, let's try that one more time. Woo. All right. Ultimately, though, we are in a bullish structure. We got a low, got a higher low. I'm waiting for that next. I mean, obviously, I do want to see the price pump up because I'm a perma bull, but yeah, I would like to see like another, higher low instance, which would be an interesting development on this particular chart because there is a pattern called the three rising valleys pattern. Essentially, you have you have three dips, and right now we have two dips, right? So that next dip would confirm a three rising valleys pattern, which is very, very bullish and usually the beginning of a bull run, of a bigger bull run. So anywho, it's looking great. Bullish engulfing candle. We nullified 2 days of negative price action in 1 day. Phenomenal. We didn't necessarily take out the top side here just yet, but that's completely fine. The non-exponential moving average, like I had said before, when we are in bullish structures, it is support. We got a back test of this previous resistance here, and we've just been up only since as of today. So yeah. Now as far as you can see on Market Liberator, um, we do have a sell signal, but keep in mind that the money flow, which is this indicator where it shows like a blue wave, this blue wave here, sorry, not that, but the money flow where it goes, you know, from blue to red to blue. Right now it's super thick in the green, if you will. For me, it's blue. So I'm not necessarily concerned of any downside at this time. I do feel like this will be a consolidation period. Now, when I see a divergence, because as you can see, like in the previous bullish events here, we had to have multiple divergences, these red dots essentially, to actually push the price in the negative direction. So the thing is, momentum is to the upside because the blue waves here, the dark blue waves are still to the upside above the zero line. This zero line's right here, roughly. Also, the money flow is above on top side. So I still feel pretty confident that, you know, we have more room to run. The exponential moving averages are blue as well. So yeah, I'm kind of beating a dead horse here. S&P's bullish. All right, so now I'm going to go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin here is showing some positive signs. We have established support at the 21 bullish engulfing. You know, we are having a little bit of a battle here to try to stay above the 9 exponential moving average. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive days of bearishness, but it wasn't enough to break below the 21 exponential moving average. You see, in my opinion, um, these get really bearish when the 21 exponential moving average is broken. To me, this is a sign of bullishness that we haven't even touched it. So that's good. Right now, currently, it's at 22,596. So we're still okay. Now, on the daily perspective, we are having another buy signal here. We need another 19 hours and 30 minutes to confirm that. Essentially. Now, we do have an initial divergence here, so momentum is kind of waning to the upside, so stagnation here is just understood. But yeah, I wanted to show you something on Market Liberator. It's a phenomenal tool. I wanted to actually go to the inputs here, and I just been a huge fan of their lines. Or is it the SR? Yeah, it's the SR. Let me see. Pitchfork channel. No. Where are you? Oh, auto trend. No, that's not it. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Current support resistance. Already got that. Fibonacci retracement. Man, where'd it go? What's the deal? Is it already on? Is it already on? Is that why? Yeah, it is already on. Oh, perfect. Okay. My bad. It was already on. That's why I was like, wait a minute. It said it's on, but it's not showing anything. All right, so within the Market Liberator tool, it has like an auto trend line built in. So it actually has all these crazy lines right here built in. So on the daily chart, as you can see on the daily, we are kind of like in this rising channel still. So as long as we're within this rising channel, you know, we're going to gradually continue moving to the upside. But I like to use the 4-hour in this instance with these particular tools here. So on the 4-hour time frame, what's rather interesting is that we do have some significant resistance here at these yellow lines, which is these yellow dotted lines right here, which is at 23.5 roughly. If we're able to break above that, we're definitely going higher. Now, seeing that this is an upward sloping resistance line, we could gradually, ever so slowly, kind of just like stagnate, ultimately tap this and hopefully break it and flip it as support at some point in time. Or the opposite could happen, which is we eventually move up, which is roughly the 23.6 zone, you know, hit it as resistance and come back down and test this as support here. So we're kind of like in an interesting, we're in between a pattern at this time. If you really zoom out here, you can make a sense. I'll just draw it out just so it looks different here. I'm gonna, hold on, I'm gonna change the color so you can see it here. Okay, so let's try that one more time. All right, so we have this line right here, and this right here. That is a big rising channel. Oh, whoops. That is a big rising channel. that you don't necessarily want to happen long term. Usually rising channels, they break out bearish. But they come back down to this particular area at the base of the rising channel. So 20.8K looks like a very, very strong area of support. So as you can see, these yellow lines, they are acting as support right here. So just to get some semblance of what I'm looking at, I want you to imagine this zone as a support area. Okay, so I'm gonna, just for fun, I'm gonna do that. So as long as we're above this level, and if you can go back into history, you can see a lot of price action happening at this level. So given our current circumstance, I do see this as a previous resistance acting as support. Or in the future it could act as support. So that's kind of like where I'm coming from. I do think we're slowly ratcheting up as the bear market is kind of dissipating. That's just my perspective at this time. I could be completely wrong, but I like to go intraday. I like to take things level by level. But yeah, so far so good for the bulls. We are crossing a 21 and a 9 exponential moving average. As you can see, when that happens, good things usually come. You can see here, we had a cross evaded right here, actually, funny enough. But yeah, these crosses are actually very powerful. Yeah, I was trying to do some, but I'd probably be going too far back. But anyway, these crosses are pretty strong for the overall market. At the end of the day, so far so good for Bitcoin. Alright, so let's go to Ethereum. Actually, let me go here to this one. Alright, Ethereum on the 4 hour, we've established some pretty staunch resistance here at 16K, roughly 16 and change. And so far we are getting this line right here. It's an upward sloping resistance line, but at the end of the day it is gradually moving to the upside. We're getting ratcheted support build up here. If I were to zoom out, as you can see, we're kind of respecting this channel right here pretty much at current price action. There's a cluster right here, so there's staunch resistance at the psychological level at like roughly 1900 2K. But yeah, methodically speaking, this morning, whoa, my bad. Methodically speaking, we were actually below this line right here, and we broke through it with a bullish engulfing candle. I personally like to trade, so like here's a little secret. So I did a calculation with like the 1 hour. So essentially, if you do like a Fibonacci, if you calculate the Fibonacci, or if you to calculate a Fibonacci number, let's say like you want to do the 1 hour, you multiply by 5. You do a calculation, right? And then essentially you multiply it by pi, and you do an instance. I could probably talk about that a little later. But the reason I like the 37-minute time frame is because it's a Fibonacci precursor to the 1 hour. This is like mumbo jumbo too, probably, but I like it because it shows things that that happen before essentially the 1 hour. So it's kind of like a precursor to the 1 hour, as well as the 24. The 24-minute is actually a precursor to the 4 hour. So I like to use the 24 and the 37. They're a little bit weird. You know, a lot of people like to use the 5, the 15, the hourly, the 4 hour, the daily charts, which is completely fine. They're usually very valid, and they're, you know, good metrics to see where the price is truly going. But I like to kind of front run moves, if you will. I like to have my position set before they happen. So I like the 24 and I like the 37-minute time frame. But okay, so I digress. Moving forward, we broke this resistance here that could potentially be acting as support. Okay, so I'm going to be putting that there, and then moving there. So we broke out of this descending channel, or I'm sorry, this what do you call this actually? Falling wedge. There it is. Yeah, so as you can see here, we have this falling wedge, which are bullish patterns. They break out to the upside, and that's exactly what happened regarding Ethereum this morning. It was pretty phenomenal, this move. It was a hell of a fake out, shake out, because it just pumped and then dumped and then pumped again ever so gradually. So that was kind of, must have been frustrating for swing traders, must have been frustrating for scalpers. But yeah, this is why I like to go in, slower term time frames where you have a couple days to actually make a decision. Really like a couple hours ideally if you want like really good entries. But anyway, yeah, going to my indicators here, we did get on Market Liberator here. I like these dots, these dots especially like on the 37-minute time frame. Usually when you get a dot or right here, a divergence, in this case, you got kind of like a trigger wave situation. So when you have a wave, a bigger wave and then a smaller wave, something like this, I like to see these as ideal entries. By the way, if you want to get Market Liberator, it's on a donation basis. You could literally donate like $1 to Market Liberator. I think it's marketliberator.xyz. I think that's who they are. But yeah, I could actually add it in the description below. It's actually a really awesome tool. I use this like this calculation. I mean, there's a couple of tools. There's like, Market Cipher, Market Liberator, and then VMU Cipher or something like that. Essentially, like they're momentum oscillator tools that really help kind of like ease into it. It's kind of like a MACD, but better in my opinion because it just has so much more data in one indicator. So it saves you space, especially with like TradingView. TradingView, if you're not using the Pro plan, if you're using just the free plan, you are limited to the amount of tools that you can use. So just by purchasing Market Liberator, literally for $1 if you wanted to. I mean, you could donate whatever you want. If you like them, you could donate how much ever you want. But yeah, it's one of my favorite tools at this time. I recently got it. It's been phenomenal. But yeah, these tools essentially they give a precursor. So for example, I like to look for a lower wave and then a higher wave right after. Okay, so in this case, right here, that buy signal was right here. Okay, so let me go to the chart and show you exactly where that buy signal was right before the rip. It was right before the rip. All right, so if you're holding at this time, you would be up 2.5%. Okay, so a very powerful tool. There's also bearish plays as well. We can get into that another time. But yeah, the Market Liberator is one of my favorite tools. This oscillator design is frankly phenomenal. It's really helps. It really helps get a lay of the land of the whole situation. But going back to it, I saw these two dots right here. Okay, right around here. And at that time, I did a couple spot orders. Like I just purchased some Litecoin. I know I'm doing ETH right now, but I'm a big Litecoin fan, given that the halving is 200 days away roughly. But yeah, so I did like some limit orders like right around here, and just been holding. So far, so good. But anyway, so far Ethereum's looking really good. The reason I love Ethereum is because it's kind of like the head of the snake for altcoins. Bitcoin is the head of the snake for just the whole entire crypto market. But when ETH is doing well, usually alts are doing pretty well. So that's fun. That's what I like about both of them in particular. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at that for now. I'll kind of just leave it at such. But so far so good. We do have some potential support lines at 1,656. Sorry, 1,658.91 for Ethereum. So I'm keeping my eye on 1,658 to become support or not. If we do get candle closes below, I am looking at a convergence right here of 1,623. But yeah, so far, given that we did break out of a bullish structure, I do see this downward sloping line right here as support. We do have a lot of clusters, pretty much around basically 1600 and 1580, that little zone. So I do see that little area right here as strong support. I think we're above that. I think we have strong support here at 1620 roughly, and my current support, my current support line is 1,658. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll be back probably later on this week to kind of give some more updates. Take care. Bye.